This video will describe how I use my election unit in my American government class. There are numerous little assignments that go with this project, and throughout this video I'll explain those as we go. One of the very first things that we do in my class for this project is do a little questionnaire sheet on finding out where students stand on their own individual issues, say like abortion or gay marriage or something like that. What I do is I have a worksheet that they assign a number 1 through 5 for or against it, and then I have 20 different controversial issues, and they will decide where they want to vote. Either they're going to vote for it or they're going to vote against it. After they have decided where they're going to vote, I put them in like-minded groups because they total up the columns and what their total comes to. Say if it's on a scale of 0 or 20 to 120, I will put them in like-minded groups. So if there's a bunch of people at say 85 points, I will put them in the same political party. Each class will be divided into about 4, depending on how big your class is. If you have, say, 10 people in your classroom, you're going to have probably 2 groups that are about 5 members in each group. If you have up to 25, you maybe want to have a little bit more in each group. I prefer about 5 persons in each group political party, and this way you can run the project a lot smoother. Once students are put into their political party group, then they are able to decide who they would like to be, say, run for president in that group, or vice president, who would be the secretary, maybe some other positions, so if they want like a secretary of state or a cabinet position. That way every single person has their own job, their own designated job that they're going to do for the project. Ideally, the person that's running for president and vice president are very good at debating. They're very good in your class when it comes to government knowledge. Next to you, once students have picked out who they want to represent their political party, their next job is to look over that same sheet of 20 different issues that I gave out in the beginning of the class, and what they're going to do is find out where they agreed, where they disagreed, and then come to a point where they're going to decide what they're going to be for or against on every single one of the 20 issues. And from there, each student group is going to pick 5 top individual issues that they're going to use as their background for their political campaign. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this. When doing the research project part of this, when it comes to the individual issues, the stances, the party stances, make sure that the students are using correct and accurate websites, links, different types of research that they can find. There are a lot of biased information out there, and that's why I make students research both the for and against when it comes to the topic. That way they can get a true understanding of what maybe they'll go against when it comes to the debate, which is going to be coming up towards the end of the project. As we're going along, students will also be creating their party stance issues. They'll put them on a list of paper, and then they're going to have pictures also that are involved. From there, the fun parts really get, like the kids really enjoy the next aspect, is where they're going to make their own commercials, they're going to make their own posters, they're going to make their own, or have their own debates. I have a few examples involved with the campaign posters. I have ones that I hang up around the school, and I also have ones that are just digital posters that I put up on my wall when we're presenting. One aspect about doing the posters and one aspect about doing the commercials is that you got to guarantee that they're going to do things accurately and appropriately, because you need to be able to make sure that when they bring a poster, it's going to be visible enough that every single person in your school, say if you're a K-12 school, you need to be able to have that be seen by everybody. And so what I do is make sure that every single person has a rough draft of the posters, the digital posters, and they have to storyboard out their entire commercial before it is even started filming. The commercial is usually consists of, say, about a minute to 2 minutes worth of information. In that commercial, they talk about, say, their top 5 issues, why they're running, and then they may add a few personal aspects into it. But it has to be appropriate, it has to be approved by me, and if it's not approved by me, then they won't be able to shoot it. Next aspect is to prepare for the debate. The debate usually consists of me being the moderator, the students that are not the presidential campaign presidents of their campaign will be making questions, and they usually make 2 questions per topic. So there's 20 topics in total, so you should have about 40 questions. They have to be open-ended questions, and then each student will ask those questions as the debate goes on. Once everything is completed, when it comes to the debate, you have the class that is in front of them, the American government class. What I do as a teacher, then I show all the other classes that I teach. So I have freshman world history, I have sophomore American history, and junior American history. And what I do is I show them the commercials and I show them the posters, and that's it. And what I do is have each one of those classes vote on which candidate they think would be a great president based on the commercials, based on the posters. Then I have, when it gets to the class vote, the class will vote, and they're the educated voters because they have been there through the whole entire process. They've seen the debates, they've seen the commercials, and they've seen the posters. So what I do is then take those votes, and that's kind of your electoral votes. Those people are the educated individuals, and you compare the two. You can compare, say, uneducated voters versus educated voters. And you'll be surprised that most of the times the kids that do the best commercials, usually the ones that win the uneducated vote or the best posters, compared to the person that actually wins the vote when it comes to the class. A lot of times the people that are there and they know what's going on really have an informed opinion and an informed decision on what they're going to vote for. So that's what I try to institute when it comes to my American government class, is that when you go out into society, you need to do your own research and you need to do your own thinking other than just watching a commercial. And a lot of times society does that. Very fun project that we do. It does take a long time. I would say it takes a good 3 weeks to 4 weeks sometimes, depending on your classes and how big your classes are and how fast they work. But it is a very rewarding experience when it comes to election, because you can really apply everything that you've done throughout the entire year of your American government class, and they can take that information and apply it to themselves, and you can kind of let just kids run with it. And the kids love it. I've had parents come in, I've had other teachers come in, they want to see the commercials, they want to see the posters. It's just a total school involvement after it gets going. And it's been something that all seniors now look forward to when they get to my class. If you need any more information about this election unit that I have, feel free to leave a comment or comment on my blog post. I will be happy to get a hold of you and send you some information if you need anything else. Thanks for watching.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in it.